All right, so for this next project, you guys are gonna be making two tiles. One of them's gonna be done with the sgraffito style, and then the second one's gonna be done with the relief style. So here I already have one that I rolled out using a rolling pin. So I'll just show you how I did that. I didn't really use anything to get me the thickness, but this tile is about maybe about half an inch thick. I'll just show you how I did it with the rolling pin without really having to have like some thickness sticks on the sides. So simply, just cut out a slab of clay from the big bag of clay. Since it's already kind of already starting with the slab, but this slab, it's not all even. So I'll just simply start rolling it out. As you kind of roll it, it'll stretch out slowly. I also tend to flip it over often and move it around often so it doesn't get stuck. I just pretty much slowly do this. Little by little it stretches out. Because it also depends on how wet your clay is. My clay has actually been getting a little bit stiff, so again, I'm constantly moving it around and picking it up so it doesn't get stuck on my surface. It also allows the clay to be stretched out so it's just not stuck to the board. It gets a little bit thinner, it gets easier to manage. And as I flip it over and move it around, it also allows me to keep it pretty even. Once I see that it's getting to about half an inch, I'll be able to stop. Once I start getting thinner, I'll kind of like ease the pressure. That's just now when I put less pressure on the rolling, that's what's gonna make it pretty nice and even. That's probably about it. Yeah, that's about it. So yeah, there you go. There's my slab of clay. Again, it's about, this one might be a little bit thinner than half an inch. Again, you're making two tiles. They need to be about 8 inches square. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab a ruler and start cutting both of my tiles to be 8 inches square. So I'll cut them out and then I'll prepare them for the next step. Alright, so here are my two cut tiles. They're both 8 inches square. One of them again is going to be to do sgraffito on, and the other one's going to be to do relief on. So I'm going to do the sgraffito on this one because I think this one's slightly thinner. The one that's thicker, I want to save the one for relief carving because then I could carve into it. Remember with relief, it could be carved, or it could also be additive. So you could also add clay in order to make things three-dimensional. So think about it. As far as the relief carving, you could think about it as, if this was a plank of wood, you would carve the design to make it three-dimensional. But in this case, since you're working with clay, you could also add clay to further enhance the three-dimensionality to your design. So this one will be sgraffito. So here I have my underglazes. I'm actually gonna use probably these two colors. Looks like it's the dark blue and then the royal blue, since I still have plenty of those. I want to be able to pretty much cover the entire tile with it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and brush it all on. I'm not too concerned about using it all up. I want to use it all up. It's a nice contrasting color, so it's the dark blue. I'm just putting it all on. Okay, I'm gonna have to let this dry a bit so that I could put another layer. There's my first layer of underglaze. I'm gonna let that dry, and then once it dries, I'll be able to put the next coat. So I'll just let them sit out and dry. This one I am gonna cover it up because or actually, like, depending again on your clay, if your tile is really soft, then you want to let it stiffen up. That way you could move on to the next step. This clay is like a little bit stiffer, but I'll still let it dry just a little bit so it could get leather hard. The other thing you want to do with your tiles, just try to keep them flat all the time. Avoid picking them up, because what could happen later is when it dries or when it gets fired, it could warp. So once you make a tile, you want to keep it flat all the time. Keep it just on a surface, on a board, the whole time throughout the whole process, so that it could stay nice and straight. So when we come back, I'll have my tiles ready to start doing the carving and the sgraffito. I'll see you guys later.